Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the TFTV2 channel. My name's Godfather, bringing you tonight's matchup of Feint Gaming versus Garda Panteri. This is some ETF2L matchups here. I'm joined by Dave on the mic. Wiethoofd is behind the scenes for us. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you very much. It should be a very interesting game tonight, actually. We've got Feint and Garda are the two teams, and both teams coming in off a very, very strong showing last week. Feint kind of demolishing, I believe it was Aura Electra. They completely swept them aside. That was technically a week 5 fixture, but it was played last week. And of course, we've got Garda Panteri, who were very, very powerful last week as well. They kind of just systematically dismantled Global Clan. Very, very strong performance from that team. And you were here with me last week when we saw that, weren't you?
I think I may have been. Honestly, not entirely sure, but let's take a look at the current standings in the division here. Should have those pulled up on the stream in a moment. And this is week 7, so we're nearing the end of the regular season. Nerd Rage currently in first place with a 9-1 record, followed by Feint with 7-3, and then a pretty steep drop off to third and fourth place here, Dave.
Yeah, well, we talked about the game last week, Garda beating Global Clan, and that kind of blew this playoff situation really, really wide open. For people not familiar, it's going to be the top 4 teams will go into the playoffs, or at least that's how it's worked in previous seasons. Uh, and yeah, very, very close. You can see third, fourth, fifth, sixth. All 4 of those teams, have a very reasonable chance of getting in. I mean, Garda tonight, they're coming up against Feint, who are they're pretty secure in second place. It would take, I think, somewhat of a minor miracle for them to not end up finishing in that second spot. So not really too much on the line for Feint. Maybe they'll be taking it a little bit easy tonight. But Garda, very much so, they gave themselves a really, really good chance of getting into that playoff position. It's going to come a little bit down to the other game that's happened tonight between, I think it's, was it top 5 and Aura? And yeah,
I
uh,
believe so, yes.
yeah. So that's the other game happening tonight on TFTV1. But yeah, over here we've got Feint and Garda, and the really Garda they potentially need 6 points. I think it's like 6 points. They'll almost certainly qualify. But at a minimum, they're going to need 2 points tonight.
Well, now that we've seen the standings, let's take a look at the rosters of these two teams. I'll let you run down Feint first off here.
Okay, so for Feint, we've got Voxy and Yeehaw, the scouts, Opti and Hugo, the soldiers. Mac is going to be on demo, and Vanny is going to be on the medic.
And for Garda, I believe we have Kilsis and Earl on scouts, Bud and Minky on soldiers, Milky is the demo, and Trum on medic. So some pretty strong players, especially on the side of Feint here. Coming as we've mentioned before, the number 2 team right now, pretty much locked into that position. Who are going to be the players to watch, though, from either team to really be game changers tonight?
I think there's kind of 2 players on the server that you look to really be game changers, as you say, and they're both on Feint's side. It's going to be Yeehaw and Opti, that kind of powerful flank. I mean, Yeehaw, his reputation kind of goes above. He is this scout in the mold of kind of this Tiger or Clockwork. He plays on the flank, plays, very, very trusting that he can just go in, frag everything, and he just puts so much pressure on the opposition that he can have that kind of explosive impact. And talking of explosions, Opti is this, absolute airshot machine on the flank, and he's also, he likes to pull out these kind of gimmicks, these novelties. You often see him like turn up on the spy or running some kind of banner or anything of that kind of ilk, and he could make a real difference for Feint as well.
Absolutely, some players to watch out for there. Now we're going to be on Metalworks for our first map. What are you expecting to see on this map specifically?
Well, we saw Garda last week on Metalworks. They were very, very solid. Uh, they they just completely demolished Global Clan. Just through their solidity, really. They they just went back and forth, as they needed. Played it very much textbook. I mean, previously we'd seen, all kinds of strange plays and gimmicks coming out of Garda, but last week it was much more kind of standard stuff, but just played to absolute perfection. And I mean, the kind of interesting thing about this week as well is Feint, of course, did not play a week 6 fixture that would have been against Goblin Clan, who did fold much, much earlier in the season. So that is effectively a bye week for them. So that means we haven't seen Feint play in a Metalworks fixture at all. So they've only had kind of scrim practice, no officials played on it. So I think that really kind of favours Garda, that they have perhaps a little bit more of an edge on this map just because they've played it before last week.
Absolutely, a wild card map here, perhaps, in terms of Feint maybe not being as strong as their standings would suggest. And then our second map for this fixture is going to be Process. And any thoughts on how that will likely play out?
I mean, Process is always very fast-paced action, very back and forth. You can roll it from last to last in a blink of an eye. There's so much, movement options for all the classes, really. That I think that's probably likely to favour Feint a little bit more. If they get into a position, if they get 3 points here on Metalworks, they'll be very confident of netting a 6-0 back on Process. I mean, it was obviously the week 1 map. Neither of these teams have played it since week 1, so that's much, much earlier in the season. Process is a map that everyone knows. It's the most played map in mixes, scrims, and off-season scrims, everything. So everyone knows the map. No one's going to be uncertain of anything. But just having not played it for a few weeks, whichever team has scrimmed a little bit more, it might feel that they have an edge there.
Absolutely. It looks like we have a good number of people on the server, but not quite 12. Any really other thoughts you have about this matchup? Any players I should be really looking out to make an impact on these mid fights?
I mean, when you talk about mid fights, you're often talking about the explosive classes. We've seen how strong Milky has been these last few weeks. He really seems to have stepped up. I believe it's his first season in Prem, but certainly it's the first time I've noticed him really going toe to toe with, all of these much. I wouldn't say more experience, but at least much more experience at the very, very highest level gamers. He's going to be up against Mac tonight, who a very, very proficient demo man in his own right. So perhaps the battle of the demos will be the key thing on these midfights.
Demo Man, absolutely an impactful class, and we'll be looking for Milky to really have a great game here. He played well last time I saw him in action, and I think definitely a player to be watching out for if he's staying alive, outputting tons of damage and whatnot. Garda will definitely have a better shot in on at least this first map, although the pace of Process might prove a little too much for them when we get there. However, looks like we are at 10 in game now, so a little bit longer. And in this downtime, I will want to plug that the Essentials.cf and DreamHack Clash is happening, I believe, this weekend and next. I don't know if we have that able to be pulled up on stream right now, but definitely register for that. I believe there are only a few more hours to do so. Go to clash.tf, if I'm not mistaken, that's the correct link, and register your team there. And then, of course, that will be streamed on Essentials.tf live. I believe I'm correct. It's this weekend and next.
Yep, that sounds correct to me. I mean, getting back to this game, we talked about sort of these two maps. They're also very, very different maps. Like Metalworks is, it can be fast paced, but it's a lot more spammy. The soldiers perhaps have a bit more of an impact than we're likely to see on Process. So that's also going to be something to look out for, how these teams adapt these kind of two completely different kind of play styles. We saw Garda warm up just on Metalworks, and they looked very, very strong. And, obviously last week they looked good on Metalworks as well. So, going into this first map, Metalworks, I feel Garda have a real shot. And we talked about that how, as strong as Feint are, they are very much by right the second best team in Europe at the moment. But Garda have just been getting better and better every time I've seen them. I've predicted against them a lot, but they've shown me that they're nothing to be messed around with. They are right up there, able to compete with all the best teams.
Absolutely, and we've mentioned already that Garda definitely has something to play for here, trying to get back into playoffs, whereas Feint really has that second seed secure, so could definitely ease off the gas here a little bit tonight, and if they do, that might result in Garda being able to pick up a map win, which would certainly help their playoff standings. Now it looks like we do have 12 in servers, so I'm going to ask you the tough question of who do you think is going to win this first map?
Well, I think pretty much every time I've predicted against Garda, and a lot of the times they have surprised me. So, I'm not going to break that for them. If I am some kind of anti-jinx for them, I'm going to predict against them again. So I think Feint's going to win 3-1.
I think with Feint dominance, it's certainly likely that they're going to pull out this win here. And it sounds like we're getting live soon, so I'll throw in my prediction. I think Garda's going to make it close. I think we might see something like a 5-3 happen in favor of Feint. Depends on how fast-paced this matchup ends up going, but I think maybe a 2-point difference in favor of Feint. But only time will tell. Sounds like we're getting ready soon, as I just mentioned. Any last thoughts before we start in on this first mid?
I think we're just going to. Another thing to look out for is, both these kind of scout combos. Like this scout combo from Feint is very, very powerful. Voxy and Yeehaw, we know kind of the DM they bring, and also their game sense as well. But every time I've seen the Garda side kill Sizz and Earl, they just seem to have got better. Last week they put in a phenomenal performance, kind of understated scout performance, just getting as much cleanup as they can. But yeah, the kind of that 2v2 scout duel is going to be super, super important, I think.
Opportunity to clean up lots of damage, especially if the demos are playing well. And now that we had somebody disconnect and someone reconnect, but we are now getting ready to go. This again is ETF2L Season 38, Week 7, Feint versus Garda. Getting in on this first map of 2. My name's Godfather, joined by Dave on the mic, Wiethoofd on the production. See how these demos fare on the mid. Watching Mac really right now, but gonna see if we have any early soldier initiation. Mac getting there very quickly. Looks like the side of Garda is rotating around. Bud up in the air right now. He's gonna perch up on the high ground, jump in, looking for Vaughn. He gets good damage and finds an early frag. That's the first death of this mid. Mangy will die on the other side, but an early med death means the side of Garda is looking good so far. Yeehaw trying to duel these scouts a little bit, not finding too much. Hugo now in the lobby, but Dave, what happened there to allow that med death? Oh, wait!
Oh, wow. We went to do some analysis, but Hugo comes in, completely shuts me down. We're going to see Yeehaw, in fact, pick up the final frag of the mid-fight. He's the only survivor. So, also with Trump going down so late, we might see a little bit of contention on mid here, but with Trump going down so late, Valley's already up to like a 40% Uber advantage. So, as much as work as Bud did on that mid-fight, he jumped in, immediately took out Trump and... immediately took out Vanny and Mac, the demo and the medic, the two most important kind of classes there on that mid-fight. Bud did so much work, but his team just wasn't quite able to hold it together, and we're now in a really, really good position for Feint.
Yeah, I'm approaching this full Uber at 90% right now. Trum just about 50% doing his best to build up here. That flank play at the end to salvage was beautiful. Here's the Uber coming in from the side of Feint. The side of Garda, though, is pretty much all the way out already. Bud got pretty weak. He's going to be able to escape and look for some heals. and the point will go in favor of Feint, but now Uber Ad back in favor of Garda once again, but this time Trum playing it pretty safe, and now getting ready to work their way forward at this 95%. Looking for the exchange to come through in just a moment. Opti trying to jump away, it looks like. Maybe going for a flank here with 3 men coming around. Mankey's in trouble. He's going to get taken out. Hugo will die for it. Earl cleaning up that damage, and Earl finding another one onto Yeehaw. Actually, everyone's falling right now. The Uber hasn't been used. Trum staying alive, not popping. Point will go in favor of Garda, and not using that Uber means they will hold on to this ad, although it's about to be even, Dave.
It is about to be even. Obviously, that flank bought enough time for them to get up to that Uber, but they are going to be 2 players down. If Garda decide to go here, it's going to be difficult for Feint to contest. The players are only just spawning now. It's a little bit of a slow entry from Garda. Looks like they're a little bit tentative. They don't quite want to push that opportunity that they had. So we might see a little bit of a reset here.
Oh, Bud. So the scouts there just came forward and they were able to find where Bud was, and he got an arrow at the last second, but then the focus fire was enough to clean him up. And Earl also going down means 2 picks, and that also means Uber will not need to be expended on the second point. Both teams going to regroup for a moment. Spawners coming forward. Looks like we have Earl coming up on the heavy. Dave, what's the situation coming into this last?
Well, we see they're looking to try and get something going. Opti is going in for what looked like a little bit of a sack play. He was cleaned up pretty rapidly, to be honest. Do you see the stickies? They are aware of them on Garda. So yeah, Feint. But you always see.
Oh, Mac! Everybody bunch of Mankey there. Sorry, go on. That was a nice shot, though.
Yeah, very nice. You always see from Feint that whenever it's this kind of stalemate, even Uber situation, you know, they're never static. They're always doing something. They're always preparing something. At the moment, they're taking heals. Both of their soldiers are getting buffed up, so I expect to see some kind of soldier sack coming in. But they're always very proactive during these stalemate situations.
Here comes that sack. Hugo up in the skybox right now, juggling the medic. Oh, and the follow-up comes in, gets the drop onto Trum. A nice follow-up play by Opti, who will go down for it. 3 men die on the sack for the medic, and will successfully find the drop as mentioned. So now Venny and the rest of Feint have this Uber, but Bud going into challenge Mac right now, hits 1 rocket, 2, finds the 3rd, takes out the demo. A nice opening frag from the soldier, who's now in trouble here on the flank, dueling the scout with the medic to help, and Bud will go down, but that might be, no, the side of Garda unable to take any space, and they're actually going to set up this gun as they look to build up this Uber quickly.
Yeah, they opted not to commit into that point, but they have got this gun up for last, so that's good for them.
And here comes the Uber. It's going to be onto this soldier and scout primarily, baiting the point right now, forcing the Mankey to jump back in. Earl will go down on defense. No heavy in play right now. There goes Mankey, also going to die. Hugo getting taken out by these traps from Milky. Not too much point presence right now from the side of the blue team. 3 down from red, 2 from blue. No soldiers in play. These scouts on the point right now. Someone's got a touch as Yeehaw's looking to clean up Milky. Will find that frag. And Trum was the only one remaining. Feint will go up 1-0 in this first map.
Yeehaw did so much work there, just sneaking behind the point and shooting everyone in the back while they were worried about the point time that was coming in from Voxy, the other scout. I mean, they cleaned up Voxy pretty fast there, but Yeehaw was just in perfect position to rain all that damage down on them from behind, who were not aware of him, and they come out for the first round.
Getting in onto the second Hameda. Looks like this side of Garda a little bit faster. We'll see if that gives them any bigger advantage. Hugo going to try to flank around, but he's got to be careful because Mankey's in position to take that duel. Oh, it looks like Mankey's going to get bodied right now by Hugo. Got to be careful there on the flank. Getting an arrow, and now jumping in is Opti looking for the medic. Great surf out of Trum. Mankey and Bud both going to get taken out, but Opti going down on the other side of things. Now the side of the red team has to be careful. They did lose their demo because the healers had gotten out. A nice follow-up play by Voxy, picking off the lone demo man, and as Ubers approach 100%, looks like Garda doesn't want to give up too much space here.
Well, it's a really awkward position. Yeah, they're stuck behind. Like, their team is split 3-3, the 3 respawners. Voxy is going to come in, he's going to get the easy force. The medic even drops down to the low ground, so that scout is completely sold out. A chase now going to come in from Yeehaw, can go really deep onto Irwin, the combo, but good defensive play there from Garda. They do manage to smuggle their gamers out.
Oh, if Killsis can come in here and maybe find a medic frag, but no, Hugo knows, it seems, and likely will result in no frags there, although a couple going down, no soldiers for the red team now. A great job, I will say, by the side of Garda, able to get out, and they didn't lose their med there, so now Chom has a bit of an ad here, just about 10-20%, not too much to really work with, but it will slow down Feint as they begin to work their way forward again.
Get the caps over, Garda's not quite there, and is going to get caught as well. That gives Feint every ample opportunity to go forward now. Both scouts down, so none of those big defensive off classes as well. If Feint want to go for some kind of sack, now is the time. Although the heavy is up just about the time.
Killsis just respawning in time to come up heavy. Earl just 1 second away. Here's the Uber from the blue team, and red will pop right back in, and that means the side of Feint's going to be hightailing it out of here. You got to be careful from this pressure. Bud getting forward a bit, looking for some late rockets, can't quite pick up Hugo, who's got the beam and will find an arrow. Mankey pretty weak. Is he stuck behind right now? It looks like Mankey's on mid and all the way in blue's lobby right now. So an isolated player on the side of Garda, maybe not the best position to be in, and that means they're going to have to stick to their last point right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job of surviving behind. At least, like, he's going to have to win this kind of 1v1 with Yeehaw, potentially, which is, you know, not something you will really be taking.
Opti! Oh! Destroyed! But now Yeehaw's likely going to clean up this frag. Yeah, the crater. But Opti goes for the duel and just gets demolished by Mankey. That will be a little bit of a longer respawn time for Mankey, though.
Yeah, but it's a good play from him, you know, just making sure he gets that trade, doesn't give any opportunity for Feint to get anything going. You know, with one gamer down, it makes sacking much more difficult. You know, it's only the soldier down from Garda's POV, so they don't have to worry too much about getting sacked on. You know, we're just kind of chilling a little bit now. Feint, now with all 6 gamers up, they're going to look to probably get something a little bit more different going, I think.
Yeah, it looks like they're wanting to come in on the left here. Some demo exchanging spam. Hugo's going to get taken out. The guns will find Opti as well. Killsis has opted to go for engineer here. No heavy in play from Earl. Instead, sticking on scout. Now able to work his way forward just a little bit. Coming into their lobby. East Guard. I've got to be careful to not drop Bud here, though. And Foxy actually going to get caught out looking for that frag. Bud now getting healed up to full health. He's going to jump in looking for the medic, but missing all of his shots. And now Bud is low health and isolated. Yeehaw just needs to hit a little bit of damage and will find that frag. Bud just unable to really connect there at the crucial moment and dies as a result. We are 10 minutes into this first map now, and Feint still in good position. Looks like they might want to come in soon too.
Yeah, they are, you know, opted to go through this flank. They very good spam to take out that sentry gun. That opens up a lot of other opportunities for him. He takes a ton of damage, so he can't get anything going. He doesn't even get that arrow in time, so he's picked up. And with the Opti going down on the flank as well, that's 3 picks now for Garda, so very good opportunity to push out.
Looks like Bud now jumping again, looking for that fourth, and will secure it. Now the exchange really on the second point. Oh, you gotta be careful, Fonny, because Bud is behind, trying to catch him out, but unable to as Foxy comes forward. Now the players are here from the side of Feint, looking to deny this a little bit. Foxy going to go behind, look for Mankey, isolating Mankey right now, who's gonna nice serve there, but the focus fire was enough to clean up that frag. 2 down, no soldiers for the side of Garda. As the cap onto second will come through again. It looks like you might see a push onto the left here. Got the scout, demo, soldier, and med on this left side. Scout trying to bait the point. Yeehaw gonna go under, looking for kills. A lot of damage onto him. Will pick up the frag. Now Earl also getting taken down. As the soldiers are the target. Opti gonna get taken out, and now baiting the cap a lot is Yeehaw. Hugo jumping in, looking for the cap. Can he get it? He will. A nice heads-up player at the end there by the soldier. Just stand on the point. No one there from Garda. 2-0 is the score.
Yeah, with no scouts at the end of that kind of prolonged last push, it was always going to be very difficult for Garda to hold on. They had the soldiers in the demo, but obviously, particularly the soldiers, they don't have that sustained presence. They do run out of those 4 rockets pretty quickly, and with both the scouts surviving for Feint, they were just able to take it slow. That they knew their win condition, they made it put to perfection.
Absolutely. Now in on this third mid. Hugo up on that perch again, maybe looking for a bomb. Now both soldiers in the air for the blue team. Bud will be the first to die. Hugo will get cleaned up after that bomb. And so many frags going either way. Vonnie is going to find a respawn timer. I believe that was, I think it might have been Mankey who picked up that frag. Nice job by him. 3 down for both teams here, but with that medicine live for Garda, we'll have full ad as they begin to work their way forward onto mid, just waiting for their players to get in position, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking quite an aggressive position in this house area, you know, even before the spawners are in. They obviously, you know, just want to get a little bit of sight of what's going on. But an opportunity really for Fate to also kind of get a sight of which door they're going to be coming through. You know, get that very coordinated spamming. A lot of damage going down on the either side, but no frags traded, and Garda, you know, are able to walk in kind of cleanly without using. But now we're looking at Fate getting very close to that Uber.
Yeah, likely going to be an even Uber situation here. Although this game hasn't seen too many stalemates, usually a play will come through from one side or the other. Here's Bud going forward onto the point, very isolated right now, down to 50 health. Here's Opti looking to clean up that frag, but he can't. Instead finding Milky, and kills is also going to get cleaned up by Foxy. 2 down for the side of Garda, and down a demo. Means Fate now working the way forward. Got to be careful. A few soldiers in the area, but just trying to escape right now. As no Ubers being exchanged while this point gets swapped back and forth, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say the really impressive thing that I'm seeing here from Fate is, you know, every time it looks like there's a little bit of an opportunity for, you know, players to get isolated or to get caught out. He's always got that buddy to come in, back him up at the very last second. Really on point with their team play. A couple of players go in for a little bit of a sack there.
That's a
force. They did get the force, yeah.
Oh, a nice double, or a soldier and a scout going in there. The counter pop comes in, and now Trum is just body blocked to oblivion. Will get cleaned up. But Mankey going in, trying to find Bonnie. Will get cleaned up by Kills instead. 3 down forward the side of the blue team. Now 4. Can they find more frags? Another will get cleaned up, and that is 5, 6. Just some spawners now for the side of Fate, as the side of Garda is going to be able to cap this second point, or midpoint, excuse me, and have their players start coming forward. Trum unable to really build consistently though, so it's not going to be too much of an ad.
Yeah, I mean, they killed Vanny very quickly, you know, after Trum went down. It is perfectly played from Garda that they took all the kind of positioning that was offered to them from Fate going deep onto that low ground to chase the medic, and they just executed it. Very impressive focus fire, and what could have been a disaster with how bad that Uber trade ended up coming down. They've salvaged it really well here.
And now the side of Fate is just going to be sitting in their shutter on the left side here, getting ready to back out if needed. Although these Ubers are so close, not sure if we're going to just be waiting for an exchange. Looks like that is the case though. The side of Garden now has this Uber Opti on the flank. Going to be able to escape though before getting focus fired down. Bud taking a little bit of ground on that alley side. Trump there with him. Maybe looking for this alleyway push on the side of Garda, but now jumping forward again, just going to take that positioning, try to exchange a little bit of spam. Things slowing down here, but Opti going for a sack. He's going to be able to get in onto Trump, finds the force. Nice job there, but Hugo and Opti both taken out. Can Kills finding more frags here is the question. Mankey also working his way forward. He finds the force and the respawn timer, as now Fate works their way forward through this alleyway, trying to pick up the frag onto Trump. So far unsuccessful, but Yeehaw's in play, looking for the frag. He'll get cleaned up, not before Bud is found. Also, Mac going down means no demo for Fate. That is the sign for Garda to work their way forward, cleaning up Foxy as well, looking for Vonnie. But that delay from Foxy means Vonnie will be out to their last, and now Garda's in a position where they might be able to even, or get the scores a little closer, excuse me, trying to make it a 2-1 game, Dave.
Yeah, they've also been able to build up a slight Uber advantage here. I mean, we talked about, you know, the scout fight being super important, and the scouts dominated Voxy and Yeehaw here, and, you know, they're going to be stuck on last now, Yeehaw on the engineer.
And swapping back, Bonnie's a little weak there, and just no one's able to touch. just able to walk in onto the point with Garda, and I guess maybe a little bit of a misplay there from Feint. Not a lot of frags on the push, but able to cap it out in the end. 2-1 is the score.
Yeah, it looks like they thought the Ubers were a little bit closer. They ended up being, you know, Garda very, very much had their foot on the pedal. They pushed on that 90% just as the Uber ticked over, and Feint were not ready. That they needed a couple of extra seconds to be able to hold that there, and very, very well played from Garda, just taking complete advantage of Feint just being a couple of seconds behind.
Boone went for the jump onto Vani, but instead it's going to get cleaned up as he heads straight away. Back will get picked up by Milky, a nice pipe there. Yugo also falling. It means that we have 2 down for both sides now. Milky will die in the end. Opting pretty weak, 15 health. He's going to get cleaned up by Kills. A nice play there. Kills is looking for Yeehaw. No, we don't find a nice shot there. Vani going to get cleaned up in the end. Those soldiers, too much pressure, and mid-cap will likely go. It's just 1 scout left. Yeah, Foxy will go down. Essentially a team wipe on this mid-fight, which will go to the side of Garda, trying to build up some momentum, trying to even up the score.
Yeah, I mean, Milky just did everything, like, the crucial frags early in that mid-fight. It's then really forcing Feint to get kind of a little bit aggressive, and we see how the blob of Garda players has been so effective in so many mid-fights these last few weeks. One Sport's paying absolute dividends, and now they have 100%.
This will Uber an opportunity to quickly make it a 2-2 game. Very important, again, that Garda's able to take some maps here, and the Uber will get popped in, looking for this gun early, immediately taking that down. Now trying to clear these traps. The soldier's going to jump in, trying to pick up kills, but so far unsuccessful. Yeehaw's in play, looking for the frag onto him as well, but he's the first to die on this last push. Looks like the side of Garda is going to be forced out. A lot of weak players on both sides. Vani getting down to 30 health, but the 3 frags, now 4 as Milky's caught. That means Garda is hightailing it out of here, trying to build up. Already at about 50% to Vani's 100. And they will have to settle for a midpoint here. The side of Feint is able to work their way forward very quickly, though.
That was crazy to see from Feint there. They kited like that last push completely far left. Like if they had a player coming in from that far left side, they would have just gone completely mulched all those players on that low ground. But perfectly played, kind of last defense, played to perfection, and now they're pushing into Uber.
Yeah, they have this Uber Trump did have in time, however, and popping back might be a bit of a better Uber, but only if they're able to find these frags will actually pipe down in the end. But that sacrifice play means Feint will only lose 1 and an even Uber situation. A little bit of a stutter there on my end. Hopefully I am not lagging on stream, as Kills us down to 1 health before finding some heals, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, we see time and time again, like these last few weeks, how well Trump has been doing in terms of building this Uber up to getting it in time. They're obviously, he's catching Vanny out. Like, Vanny's not expecting the Uber to be built quite as fast as it is. Trump doing an excellent job building Uber every time. But we now see complete domination there of that fight from Feint, just cleaning absolutely everyone up. The medic and scout Trump and Killsis will get out, but now it's very much gone back in Feint's favour.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Feint's able to do here, as they're going to cap this second point and work their way forward in a moment. Earl already up on Engineer. Gun slowly going to become a threat to any bombing soldiers, but actually getting pretty low here. But, oh, I am stuttering all over the place. I hope I'm not lagging. Alright, as long as I'm not lagging in voice, that is all that matters really here.
Yeah, he's
but a failed push.
Yeah, well, it's kind of evened up now. It's going to be 100%, you know, on both sides. But, you know, with 9 minutes left, 2-1, you know, Feint, it's not really on them to do anything. Opti is going in for a little bit of a sack. In fact, he does force Trump out. We see the Uber coming in quite deep. It's going to be traded now in from Feint. They can get a little bit aggressive here into the last point. Hugo in the sky going to get denied by the sentry and the heavy. That absolute hit scan denial. But Yeehaw is just Wing in. He's onto the medic now. He's just smashing everyone. An absolute mulch there. Yeehaw coming in the last second, cleaning absolutely everyone up in through the flank, and now it's 3-1 to Garda.
Yeah, that I am gonna see if I can retry real quickly. It looks like I'll be here in time for the mid, but that was a beautiful little flank play from Yeehaw to clean up the round. Now, as we approach this fifth mid fight now with 8 minutes left, Garda really has to pick up the pace and try to secure another round quickly if they want to stay in the game here. Hugo and Opti both going in early, looking to clean up Mankey. Can't quite find him. He'll look for a pack now instead. Opti is behind and will be a threat. Maybe looking for the frag onto Trum right now. Getting one rocket. Can he find the second? Gets a little bit of damage, but he can't clean it up quite. Oh, but Yeehaw is a threat as always. But Earl will be the attention of Hugo right now, who's looking for some heals. The side of Garda going to be backing out after dropping 2 on the mid. Chum just barely surviving there though.
Yeah, and we see a little bit of adaptation here as well, I think, from Fate. They're saying, you know, if you're going to blob up together, we'll play the heals, we're just going to do the same thing. And, you know, Hugo's saying much closer to his team that time, not going for anything special. We do see a force come out, like Bud just comes in, catches Vanny out in the transition, and the Uber is going to come in. It's going to be much later here from the side of Garda, but they aren't able to chase anything down. A lot of the players are very weak.
Yeah, unable to clean up the frag onto Vonnie there is the crucial the crucial frag that they were searching for, but they can't quite get it. And now things will slow down for a little bit longer, I assume, unless we are going to see a dry fight come forward. Dave, what do you expect to see?
I don't think either team is really on for them to go for like a really committed dry fight. You see Fate, you know, as we say, they're always trying to get some kind of sack going or some kind of flank play coming in. Soldier going high in the air but not committed. Both of these soldiers are on the heel beam, so we're probably going to see them jump in pretty shortly.
Looks like Opti is... Oh, he's just going to bait me. As soon as I say his name, he strafes back away. But still have this threat on the left side. Maybe going onto now is Opti and Yeehaw, and we're going to see Hugo also getting forward a little bit, getting some good damage in onto Mankey. Can't quite clean him up, though, from range. Now Opti looks like... Oh, please commit! Looks like Hugo's going to commit instead. The Uber's going to come forward, and now popping back is the side of Garda. Mac taken out, though. No demo on this exchange.
Oh.
The side of Fate's going to have to back out, but that late frag onto Earl might be enough for Hugo to stand, but he can't survive. Bud cleans him up. 2 down for Fate. Looking for Opti now is the scout. He's got the beam on him. Kills his, can't quite kill Opti there, but so much aggression here, Dave, from the side of Garda. They're going to pick up Mac once again.
Yeah, as you say, they need to accelerate a little bit, and we're seeing Mankey just brought all those gamers back. Opti got sold out a little bit, does manage to sneak out of there just about, but just Mankey getting behind produced, you know, such a distraction there that Garda were just cleanly able to walk in onto that mid with no real advantage here, so being able to take that fight, you know, just off a single flank play.
With 5 minutes remaining, the score is 3-1, and as 2 go down for Fate, Garda really needs to take action here. Got that demo forward for it now. Can they find the fragment to Hugo? Mankey's looking for it, but he can't quite finish it off. Foxy now below. Bud will clean him up, and finding Foxy as well. Bud on a 4K right now, as only 2 are alive from Fate. They will stack this cap and try to get, or not stack, they will just cap this point and try to work their way forward. Bud is in early. Can he get caught? Doesn't look like it, but the target is Milky, getting so low that Heavy's in play. Milky down to 4 health. Yeehaw is outputting so much spam right now. And Foxy's going to come up Engineer, trying to stabilize on this last point as the Ubers are even, Dave.
Yeah, fortunate there for Garda that they had so many frags you'd think they'd be able to take the round, but, you know, with no scouts means the transitions are much slower, and they're not going to have any cap time as well, so now they're forced to go in for a little bit of a sack play. Both soldiers go in deep, but they have no sight of Vanny at all, who's just hiding in spawn.
Bud being picked up there, just not this thing you want to see from Garda right now. Under 4 to play on the map. Milky kind of isolated as well, not really with the medic. The scout's going to have the Uber popped onto him, looking for Foxy. It looks like as flashes go around, this might be a little bit better from the side of Garda, only if they can find the frags, but dropping Milky here is absolutely terrible from Garda. Down their demo as Blue Team Fate is going to continue working the way forward and pick up Earl as well. Foxy being cleaned up by Bud. That's a nice frag, but Mankey also dying 3 down for the red team, but down both scouts right now is Feint. Might see more aggression, but Trum is cleaned up. A crucial frag from Feint to pick up that medic, as Killswitch will find 2 more. It's just 2 alive actually, and Bud has to find a frag here. This is salvageable.
Yeah, we're seeing desperate committing here now from Garda. They know the clock is very, very much against them. Down to 3 minutes and a 2-round deficit. It's very, very tough going. I think that was a little bit of an overcommit there. And another overcommit here from Milky, going to get picked up by Hugo. Excellent soldier play from him, just seeing that demo out of position. And so many frags are getting traded. And, you know, a desperate kind of recommit every time. It's really down to Mankey if he can get this back cap going, and he can't. He's picked up by Opti.
That will likely mean that we see a 3-1 map 1, but with 2:30 to play, Feint might want to try to extend their lead here a bit. Bud jumping around on the flank right now, has to be careful to get out or get in, and he goes in and will just get leaded from the sky. Nice shot in chat as Opti, I believe, hit an air shot on him, and now Feint really in position with 2 minutes left. They're going to use this Uber and try to trap out the spawn if they can, looking for damage onto Milky. There's point presence in, the soldier jumps forward, trying to deny that. Mankey is picked up. Now the Uber comes back from the side of Garda. They need to pick up Opti and Hugo if they can. They find Hugo and Opti. Nice play there. Now Yeehaw and Foxy trying to cap this point out if they can, but Yeehaw caught behind right now. He'll get cleaned up by Bud, and 3 will escape. Milky looking to push his way forward and maybe take second back quickly in order to just get into the other side of the map. But unlike Process, it is very hard to get all the way forward here.
Yeah, they need some kind of miracle coast-to-coast push, and, you know, devastating mid-fight as well here to have, you know, any opportunity. Soldiers flying in really, really deep. See, it's Bud this time. Mankey has been the one intended to go behind as much as possible, but
it looks like we have a pause coming in here. Oh, they killed the server. That's tragic. With 1 minute remaining, the server will die. So we're going to assume that it was a 3-1 score, and well, I was right. Win difference 2 there from Feint on map number 1. We'll move in onto Process in a moment. What do you think of how Garda was playing there, Dave?
I mean, they weren't doing too bad overall. It was just Feint were very, very impressive. Like, every defensive position that they held, it just looked absolutely imperious. It was very difficult for Garda to kind of get anything going. The only times it really worked for them was when Feint would just overcommit a little bit into a messy fight, really. And, you know, whenever that happened, occasionally Garda could kind of pull that situation out. But, you know, when it was kind of slow, steady going, just stalemates, sack attempts, force players, it seemed, you know, Feint were just completely had the edge.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll take a look at logs here in a moment. However, I'm going to take this opportunity to go grab some more water. So when logs get put up, I'll let you take first crack at those, Dave.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, with the first 3 points coming up here for Feint Gaming, obviously, you know, even more secure now in their second place. We're looking at Garda. You know, it's still technically possible if they get 3 points on this process map. I mean, it's going to take something of a miraculous turnaround based on that first map. But, you know, with 3 points, potentially they're still in the running. Maybe. But, yeah, very, very much backs against the wall here for Garda, I feel. So, yeah, looking at the logs, the first thing that's coming up for me is just the scout play from Feint. Well, I mean, from both sides really. Just, you know, Metalworks not the most traditional scout map that you can see in the map pool, but you know, Voxy 26 frags, Yeehaw 25, Killsys 24, and only really Earl, you know, a little bit lower on 14, but you know, still very much, you know, above many of the other gamers in the server. And, you know, the really kind of standout struggling player for Garda, Mangi, just 8 for 24. There's kind of and 189 DPM, those kind of sad Roma logs that you might see, when the Roma is just sacrificing himself over and over again. I mean, he wasn't doing the kind of traditional kind of jumping into two scouts that you might see, but he was going behind an awful lot and occasionally trading frags, but Fate were often very, very much aware of it. And we did talk about a couple of times Mankey, just through going behind, they were able to take a little bit of space or get an Uber up that they otherwise wouldn't have. So I don't want to be too hard on him. Sometimes logs don't tell the whole story, but those are some sad Roma logs, I'm afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get ready to go in onto process, though, although I don't want to cut you off if there's anything else you want to look at in these logs, but I'm ready to talk about process if you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the medics, like both medics low deaths 4 and 5. I talked about Trum, how well he was building Ubers. I mean, if you look at the time to build, it's not even that high, but it's just a case of him when the situation called for it, that they just needed to build that Uber just in time. He was really kind of really on the ball. He knows exactly when that kind of hard building is required. But it just wasn't quite enough to outmatch the powerhouse that is Feint.
Absolutely. Those looks like in on this next map, though, which will be processed for people who are joining us recently. Looks like a lot of people are getting in onto the server. Definitely expecting a higher scoring map here after the 3-1 victory from Feint. But what do you think is the key for Garda to change up here to try to take this one home?
I think they need to be a little bit more together. I think like the problem is Mankey going behind making a lot of plays. That worked well for them a lot of the time. But it was just a case of whenever they had like small advantages or opportunities to get kind of cap time on second on that Metalworks, that they were just not capping the point fast enough. There were so many times where they just didn't get the cap time, and Feint were able to turn it around based on that.
For sure here, and it looks like we should be getting ready fairly quickly. I am thinking that Feint might be able to take this one home a little bit cleaner. Maybe something like a 4-1, 5-1. What do you think in terms of predictions?
Well, I don't know if you've seen Twitter, but Bumfries came out. Apparently had a dream, like a premonition. Apparently he thinks this is going to go to 9-9. So we talk about this being a fast map, but 9-9 would be truly remarkable. I mean, I'm not one to say otherwise. I think Bum, perhaps has either some inside knowledge or some divine knowledge. So yeah, I'm going to stick with his prediction, 9-9.
A very bold prediction here. It looks like we are getting ready. Both teams ready to go, and I mean, if you're right, if the prophecy is true, might be here for a while longer. I'm going to be watching these explosive classes on the rollout, see if any soldiers really go deep. It looks like Mankey's in position to do just that. He's going to jump to the other awning, but in the air shot, he's going to be finding that pack. Very nice play there. The last second to survive. No frags quite yet on this mid-fight. Now looking to go in is Mankey perhaps, with the soldier coming forward, looking for Earl on the other side, getting very low, but he's going to get beamed back to full, it looks like, and Bud looking for anything. The soldier's just cycling through, but the first frag is Hugo onto Mankey. Got out there a little bit late. Now these scouts looking to take the high ground away from Bud. He's getting fairly weak, but he finds a pack. Hugo finds that the respawn timer as Bud hits a nice rocket onto him. As things are going to slow down a little bit, it looks like everybody has to reload here, but Ubers are in play on this mid. Killsis is taken out, Bud looking to get behind on the opposing rock. He just gets deleted. 2 down from the side of the blue team as the Ubers are exchanged by this rock side. on Garda's side right now. Opti gonna go down, but Trump is cleaned up at the end of the Uber, and this will certainly be a one mid fight for the Feint.
Yeah, we see kind of crazy rotation coming in, you know, this kind of clockwork mid-fight that we talk about. But someone who was doing his own impression of clockwork was Yeehor, just beasting them, just holding W, smashing meat shots left, right, and centre, taking the Uber, using the Uber to load up even more of his scattergun, and just hitting absolute meat at the end of it, cleaning up the fight. And we see Feint now with the first mid-fight.
Yeah, nice. Although maybe delayed, a nice clean fight there. We have defensively Kills on Enchi sitting in Shutter, ready to swap off, and Earl on Heavy taking that high ground. Looking to see where Feint will push in. It looks like they are in 5-door right now. Have their Demo and Scout and Med in position there. Start to work their way forward. Gun's going to get taken out from range. A nice early find. Now Kills is coming up. Sniper, you got to be careful if you're Vonnie, but looking for Mac. The sniper right now, unable to find that frag. Trauma in a little bit of trouble. He's going to pop his Uber. Opti and Hugo both taken out. Bud will go down to Hugo though. Now looking to chase forward, but unable to really find anything else. So full Uber for Vonnie, but Yeehaw kind of just caught there, and he'll go down. 3 down means it'll be a little bit longer before Feint works their way forward.
Yeah, that was such a smart play though. They took everything, you know, that far right number 5 door. You know, looked like they would go for some kind of slow push, and while that was happening, Opti just managed to sneak in one. Whoever was watching it, we wasn't ready for him. Gets so much damage down on those combo members, gets the foresight, and now we have an Uber advantage push.
And they're going to work their way forward fairly quickly. Got to take out that gun early, just level 1, so it will go down. Now the Heavy will be in play on the other side of things, so they take out Foxy. There's a lot of pressure in onto point early, but no longer. Trom is isolated, and he'll get taken out as the Medic and Demo were just on that right side offensively. But now the counter frags come forward as Vonnie's the only one alive. A terrible push from Feint. And Garda, even though they lose their med early, they're going to be able to take their second or likely work their way into mid on a full team wipe from Feint.
Yeah, I mean, tale of both sides really. Feint walked in, you know, had a decent entry, got the frags that they required, but they ended up, the post-Uber so split. They had players stuck on the right, players stuck on the left. The Medic was stuck on the left side crucially, so there's players on the right had, you know, no support of the heals. Guard on the other side, very well played. The focus fire was perfect for them. All the players descended on who they required, and you know, now they're moving back into mid.
Yeehaw on Sniper and forward spawn right now. Can't find too much. Opti actually going to go down to Earl. The Sniper in forward, as I just mentioned, is not really maybe the best play. It really depends on where Garda wants to work their way forward, and they are approaching this full Uber. Vonnie at 72% building fast. They're going to pop in. Got to be careful. Bud, gets body shot out of the air there by Yeehaw, making a forward spawn play worthwhile. Milky trying to work his way forward as the Uber fades. Can't find anything else, and actually losing one, and they likely won't be able to cap out this point. As now Uber is full for the other side of things, and Earl will get taken out. 2 down, Mickey looking for the force onto Vonnie, getting very low, but unable to pick up that. So another frag in favor of Feint. Unwavered determination as they continue to work their way forward, win this full Uber to work with. They'll likely cap second and be in great position to work their way into last.
All that time I was just laughing at Mankey really struggling that little spawn door fight. Yielded so much work in the forward spawn. Now the Uber's going to come in.
Hugo taken out early by this Heavy. Bud on the high ground is the target of a lot of spam, and he gets cleaned up quickly. A bit of positioning, jockeying right now, just trying to find the opportunity to work their way onto point. Yeehaw's going to come in behind, get some good damage onto the Demo. Now the Soldier's going to try to get this gun down, or the spawn door is trapped down, but the Uber will come back in from blue as Earl gets taken out as the flash comes off him in the back cap. Oh no! Yeehaw just slips his way through and will cap that out. And 1-0 will be the score after 6 minutes of play.
I mean, Garda won't be aware of it, but Yeehaw was so weak when he capped out. He must have had only about 20 health as he snuck onto the point. none of the players were quite able to connect anything with him, and he caps it out with just a sliver of HP. Great heads-up play from him. Crazy.
Mac, the early death on this next mid-fight, though. Sorry to cut you off. That is going to be devastating for the side of Fate. Hugo also going to fall. The collapse looks like it's going to be here, as they'll pick up Opti as well. Garda working their way forward. Can they find this pick onto Boxy? Very low health. Finds the pack at the last second, but the soldier Bud is jumping forward. Not in the right door, though, to clean up the frag. A great mid-fight from Garda as they continue this aggression, trying to find Yeehaw if possible. But the side of Garda, they're at such a disad here, I think, artificially. What happened there, Dave?
Well, it's just all off the back of Mankey just jumping in, completely stuffing Mac in that choke. Obviously, no demo in the fight. They couldn't even walk in through the choke, really, there on Fate's side. They really struggled to get in, and the aggression was really impressive to see from Fate. I guess that was a little bit of a different mid-fight that they tried previously. It completely worked for them, though, and it is what they needed to come back into this game.
As long as they're able to continue this pressure, Yeehaw's up on Sniper defensively. He's going to peek through 3 right now, looking for the shot, and he'll find Bud. Another body shot frag there from Yeehaw, but it'll be enough to slow down Garda, as these Ubers are still even, and the positioning from Feint will continue to be strong as they hold on to this last point. Mengi going to get headshot down. Nice plays from Yeehaw on these hold.
Seems like we're only talking about Yeehaw right now. He's picked up the sniper a few times, hitting some nice shots. I mean, he's doing so much work on Scout early on. It's really a bit of a one-man show right now. But it is going to go to a little bit of an even situation. We're seeing no off-class here from Garda. Opti very much kind of on the ball, just checking to see if anything is happening from that end. And with it being processed as well, Banner is kind of not really kind of an optimal option as well. You need that gun mode for those fast transitions so frequently that it's difficult to kind of run a Banner either defensively or offensively on this map. So it's a little bit of a double.
There's a... Oh! Mankey just deletes money. Air shots galore here. Trying to surf their way out was Vonnie, but just no escape. So a 2-man sack picks up the med, finding the drop. Trum full Uber still, but gotta be careful because Yeehaw is still in play and he's looking.
Yeah, beautiful little air shot there to get the drop. That was exactly what they needed. They're gonna, move a little bit now. Just seen Vanny come up on the crit screen for, potentially a post-Uber situation. But firstly, they're gonna have to deal with this Uber that's coming in. We're gonna see the sniper and this engineer on the left side. The Uber does come in there, Godfather.
Yeah, a lot of presence on point early on from the Scout. It's so close to being capped out, but 2 gonna drop early from both sides. The question is, can they get anyone else forward? Mankey looking to get some more heals as Kritz is slowly getting closer and closer to coming into play. Boxy the target of spam, but instead Mankey's going to get picked up by the defensive heavy, who swaps off as the side of Feint looking to get forward once again as the crits are at full. And I don't know if anyone realizes it from the other side. There's the crits, and they're going to delete Drum. An early med death. Beautiful stickies from back there. But Vonnie in trouble here, getting a little weak. Anyone clean him up? That's the question. They'll find Mac instead. Can't quite find this med though, and that will be almost a full team wipe. Kills is the only one alive. And he's just going to be escaping onto mid, but Hugo's so far forward right now. Look at this, Dave.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to go for the spawn cam onto Trum. I don't know if Trum is quite a ways waiting for his game, as Hugo is going to be behind. Maybe they're aware of him. He is just hiding in this kind of upper lobby area. All the players have passed him.
He's going to look for the Scout. One shot, can't find the second. We'll find the third. And still a threat behind in sewer. This is a tough situation. So much aggression though, looking for this med. Oh my god. Absolute destruction. Hugo finds 4 kills there on that life before finally falling. And Crits is once again in play on another almost team wipe. Milky's the only one alive, stuck on his last. Just gotta get some traps down quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, the crits is kind of awkward here.
All crits are
They're
in.
just using it into the spawn tool now across the point. There's not enough spawners here for Garda. They are going to try and push out, but oh no, Trump taken out by the crit stick. Is so much capped on point, but the frags are very much in favour. Oh, but they do just about cap it. Hugo hits a crucial rock out to the scout, propels him into the air, just knocks him off the cap enough that the cap does come down.
Dude, just Trump having a tough time here as he walks out of spawn right onto the sticks, the crit stick specifically, and will get deleted once again. I think they lost another player there to that trap as well. Here's some early aggression from the soldiers looking for Opti on this mid. Can they find him? No, Opti will be successful in jumping out now. Bud a little weak on the side of Garda. A little bit of point presence in early as Bud's going to just sit there looking for the jump in on Tavani. Now hits one rocket, hits a second, but it's not enough damage as Bud will get cleaned up. But there is a play onto Oxy. Only down to 80 health, but no more soldiers in play. No one's really going to be able to get forward from the side of the blue team. Lets the scouts just bot forward, but Earl getting taken out. Now Kelsey is likely going to be the next target. Milky needs to be careful here as he can get isolated very quickly. Question is, where is the medic? And Trum is in the opposite choke, and there's the target. Oh, and he will fall as the Uber came into play faster from Feint Gaming, finding the frags. And there we go. Mid-fight will go in favor of Feint once again here, Dave.
That was really interesting to see. Like, Trump, I guess he had to commit really, really deep. You know, there was no way he was getting out of his own choke. He committed deep into the enemy choke. But he was being forced to try and just arrow Vanny down. He was so weak the whole mid-fight. But obviously when he's arrowing, he's not building, and Vanny was building off those weaker players the whole time. The Uber comes in just in time for him. And, you know, Feint now in a dominant position, 2-0 up, and they're going to have, you know, a little bit of an Uber advantage for another last push.
And not crits this time, so hopefully this side of Trum and the rest of Garda aren't going to get caught out too fast. Ronnie eating a little bit of spam here early. They're going to use in off that, finding the gun quickly as the side of Garda is up on the top left from the offensive perspective. Good. Oh, wait, are they on crits? Oh, my HUD must be broken here as they come in and they find more med frags. Apologies there, HUD is broken for me, so I'm going to reload that. 3-0 is the score.
Yeah, I mean, the crits came up, but it just wasn't quite in enough time for Garda there. Like, they tried to do the same thing that Feint had just done to them. It didn't quite pull off because they just didn't have enough of the ground that they required. Like, crits doesn't really works so well when you're pinned in you know, a corner yourself. You really need to be using it proactively, and you know, it comes in now 3-0 for Feint.
Definitely playing this one faster. Early bomb can't quite find anything as Mankey will get cleaned up by the scouts. Now looking to get forward, finding two, but Trom is going to die again. Mac is on fire right now. Crits or no crits, and this will likely be a full team wipe. Kills his 4 health. Going to be able to escape, though, to his last, and Feint trying to make this a 5-0 finish right now, I think.
Yeah, they've obviously got a bedtime to get to. Like, they want to just push pedal to the metal, like, go as fast as they can. And at the moment, you know, they're very, very much on top. See, it's a little bit of something happening, just Demoman sticking up this one. Try to get something going on second, just a little bit of a peak, but now we're looking at 100% up for Feint.
And they're gonna jump in with this soldier early on that high ground heavy, outputting a good amount of damage, but going to be the target of a lot of spam here in a moment. But Hewitt will get piped down by Milky. Now pressuring point is Opti, who falls to Bud. Milky gonna die though, no demo defensively anymore. Yeehaw is up on that high ground, taking that away from the side of Garda. Is going to be trying to duel Bud right here, who's at half health, and oh, so weak. Oh, but the nice play, or nice heads up awareness from Earl, turns around, guns him down. A nice last hold from Garda. Have this full Uber to work with now as well. Side of Feint is kind of just sitting here in this choke, eating a good amount of spam as they try to build up to their own Uber charge now. We'll likely see an exchange on this mid tape.
Yeah, they're going to try and come in with this advantage, but Vanny's built so well, he's already up 100%. They haven't given up much position here at all. The players have managed to enter. We now see it's going to be a little bit of a trade. Uber's coming in. nice flashes here from Vanny, just keeping all his players alive, but a lot of them are so weak.
Oh, Mickey! Oh, we can't clean him up. Vanny got so weak there. 3 go down from Garda on the exchange. Earl targeted some spam, getting out though. Onto his last once again.
Yeah, now perhaps for the first time it's going to settle a little bit. I mean, perhaps Fate are going to go for some kind of dry push. I mean, when they've had the advantage, their last pushes haven't been the cleanest, so, you know, a dry push is an even sterner test for them if they wanted to go for something like that. But no, they've just decided to settle it down a little bit. They're not forced to do anything. 3-0 up, you know, over halfway through the game now. The onus is really not on them to do anything, that they can just sit pretty.
Yeah, Fate at this point can just sit and hold on to their second place positioning. Garda in a difficult situation as they really need to convert rounds here, if not the map, to have a better shot at playoffs. But here's the soldier jumping forward. It's obviously you can't find any damage on mid though. Won't fall into the forest. Here's pressure in though from the scout. Eon will go down. Mankey gets cleaned up by Voxy from range. No Ubers exchanged though, as with 2 down, Garda in better positioning right now. And you might see Boot getting forward, but now Earl is picked off by Hugo. Means both teams going to reset once again.
Yeah, we've seen a few times here, players are able to sneak in through this one area. They're not going to try and take heals through the one area. Milky gets cleaned up from rollout that was, but so many kind of frags traded in both ways. It's kind of descending into a little bit of a mess. And both teams just holding as close as they can. Rotation coming out here.
Yeah, this gun is going to be the target of a lot of spam, getting taken out by Mac in the end. Definitely opening it up to work their way forward on multiple angles, but Opti is found out, and there goes Mankey looking for Yeehaw, cleaning up that frag. Kills is still on engineer right now, but might decide to come forward if we see more frags go in favor of the side of Garda. Looking for those right now are the soldiers. Hugo, Mac, and Foxy all taken out. It's just Med alive. Old Uber drops all of his players, does not use. And the chase should be on here from Garda, trying to go fast. Opti is going to try to deny it and will be successful as Vani was well out onto their own second here. Garda looking pretty good there in that fight though, Dave.
Yeah, that was impressive focus fire, but unfortunately they used up all their ammunition. They couldn't chase Vanny down. You know, it would have been the freest force if anyone had been able to get onto him, but no one was quite had the rockets they needed to chase him down. You know, an explosive jump coming in would have been such an easy force. You just sneak out and it's going to be even Ubers.
Even Ubers once again. We've seen a lot of situations where Meds are able to hold on to their Ubers, but the constant threat of dropping here has led to some unfortunate forces as well. As sitting in choke right now will be Garda. Dave, are you expecting to see soldiers jump in a moment?
I mean, that's usually what you see on process. To be honest, we haven't really seen Garda opt for the sniper very much at all. I mean, it's perhaps their scouts just aren't, that proficient on the sniper class, or they just feel it weakens them a little bit. See Milky get a little bit aggressive in choke, just trying to get some spam going, but Garda are on a bit of a timer here.
Absolutely, with 10 minutes to play, down 3-0, they have to keep the pressure on, and can't really just let Fate sit here. Mickey's gonna jump in, look for the medic, and one rocket actually finds the force there. I think Vonnie might have thought there was more damage coming than there really was. The counter pop comes in looking for Voxy now. They'll find the med as well as Milky hits a nice pipe on the med in the air, but will go down. But as Earl finds his fourth frag onto Yeehaw, the side of Garda is looking pretty. Mac now is the target in spawn. Can Hilsa stay alive? No, he can't, as Hugo comes in and cleans up that frag. Now Opti is the target of the damage from the demo here. Milky on point with his med. Good damage onto the medic right now. Trum has to stay alive. He's got to be careful as the players are coming forward from the side of Fate. Second cap did come through, and Trum goes down. A terrible situation to be in for Garda now. They really need to secure this point quickly, but as Earl falls as well, 3 down, and the heavy in play defensively, Mac is going to be able to set some sticks up if he needs, and Milky getting piped down in the end. 9 minutes to play, and Garda kind of failed that last push. Likely going to secure a faint win.
sad to see there, like just the time pressure, forcing them to get a little bit more aggressive than they wanted to. They had the right idea, put the scout on second and try and lock the spawn down, but they weren't able to lock Opti into that spawn door, and he was able to just completely dominate that 1v1 with the demo, and they weren't able to get the cap off the back of it.
And Feint will successfully cap this midpoint. Yeehaws just going to sit on the point there and work his way forward in a moment now. Mankey's going to get pretty low, down to 30 health on the flank, but he'll pick up Opti not before, or right after that, excuse me. Yeehaw will come in, and we have the Uber come forward. Crits was in play from the side of Garda. They are unable to find too many frags with it, though, and as Earl and Bud both die near the second point, Garda will be in great position to work their way, Feint will be in great position to work their way into point. They're going to get a lot of presence in there. Crits is still the Uber Charger choice from Chum, so if he can stay alive here, they'll have it soon at about 40% right now as they pick up Foxy late into this fight, now trying to chase their way forward. The rest of Garda, Mankey just loading up some rockets, and they'll be happy to sit on their second for a little while longer as they approach this full crits.
Yeah, I think it's not so much like a tactical decision from a surprise point of view anymore. It's just they need the game to accelerate, and obviously crits puts that into the fact that they're up at crits and just 90 for Vanny.
Oh, here it is! Oh, it goes on to kill Sis instead. Milky gets the flash at the last second. Bud going down, but not before Mac will fall. And 3 down, but Vonnie was not found and has his full stock Uber to work with. Luckily going to come back in onto this midpoint. Here comes the Uber. It's onto Scout and Soldier. Opti Yeehaw looking for kills, and they'll find that frag. The cap didn't quite come in. Now there's post frag. Here's the bomb, but able to find Vonnie is Mankey. A crucial frag now. Trum at 50% on his crits, and likely going to see his sack come forward from Hugo. Looking for Milky instead. Yeehaw cleans up that frag. 3 down right now from the side of Garda, and working his way forward onto Bud is Opti. Foxy finds Earl. It's just Trum alive, and he gets cleaned up at the end of the day. That's essentially a full team wipe with under 7 to play.
It's such a smart play from Feint to know, even with those few players up they had, they were able to use that Uber to block the point. The spawns came in, and even though they lost the medic, they had the faster forward spawns and were able to win that kind of off Uber fight off the back of it. Great aggressive play there.
And we have the sniper finally coming into play from Killsis. He looks like he's going to set up in 1. Look for a quick shot here in a moment. Looking for it. Can't find Vonnie. There are traps on that shutter of 1, so you got to be careful. Uber's called, but it's just a bait as Vonnie is now approaching his full Uber. 45 for the side of Trum. The rest of Garda working their way in through the 5 door. Hugo is going to jump forward, looking for the gun. Foxy taken out by Milky's traps, though. Down 1 early is the side of Feint. A lot of damage in onto the medic, and they're going to find that frag. Mankey finds 2 as well as the demo. It's 5 men down for Feint. Just Yeehaw alive. Trum staying in play. That's a full team wipe on a failed last push, but with under 6 to play, Garda really needs to accelerate here.
Again, we see so much crit streak. That was a crits again from Vanny coming up. I mean, it was used onto Mac, just Mac shooting crit stickies at a sentry gun, which you don't get any benefit really from the crits if you just phone it. At that level 1 sentry, he did get the sentry gun down, but they got no position, no frags that would have been able to convert the round off the back off, and we now see a little bit of a leapfrog.
Yeah, leapfrog's definitely a possibility here to see. Garda's going to work their way onto the second point. Earl's going to be taken out by Opti, now dueling Bud, and he'll win that as well, and comes in and finds Trum. Actually, it was Hugo who found that one, but a beautiful collapse from the side of Feint in their own choke. Mankey is kind of just caught here looking for a frag, but won't find anything. But the respawn timer and Kilsis is trapped in rollout of Feint. He's got to make something happen with his life, or it is all for naught. We're under 5 to play, Dave.
Yeah, so smart from Eeyore, just play the point to 9 kills. Doesn't have to chase him. It's now going to take a little bit of a 1v1, just about sneak it. All that time, Feint were just piling forward, just getting the cap time on mid they required. They're now moving into second as well.
Earl has his gun up on second. It's going to be taken out, and now Earl will respawn back to his last. A nice little delay play there, but unsuccessful in finding any frags. Working his way forward, had the sniper in play, but the Uber's popped out by the side of Feint. Early pressure in, lots of time on point. Mankey taken out, and Trump Kills his finds Hugo. Can anyone touch the point right now for the red team? And they will as the soldier comes forward, and that is 4-0 with 4 to play. Feint in a great spot right now.
Yeah, we're talking about miracles now. Feint, they just look stronger. You know, they've lost Vanny, you know, in a bunch of these situations, but every time they're just able to pull, you know, some kind of miracle out of there. I also like to see like a lot of these kite players. They're kiting their Ubers so well. Their collapse is just super impressive.
And on what will likely be our last mid, well, yeah, almost certainly our last mid here. Opti going to go down early. Milky found on the other side of things, though, means no demo for Garda. They're going to lose another scout as well. And Killses goes down. No scouts in play. Mac is found by Bud, who then dies for Diver 2. Mankey looking for Bunny, and he finds the frag. A crucial salvage as Trump's the only one to live. How is that not a crit? I guess Marky Gardner does not crit, and he is saying concede in chat. GG's there. So that's an unfortunate little play there with 2:45 to play. Essentially dead time. Unless Feint wants to make it 5. I don't know, Dave. What do you think about this?
It looks like they're not in any kind of big rush to make it 5. I mean, I think Trump did get out, so he's going to have a little bit of a run. We now see Killsis come up behind. Oh, he just hits perfect 2 weak shots onto Manny.
Oh, the
takes
98%! Trump dies so close to Uber in a such dead time. Sitting in second is Mankey. He's going to jump his way forward, trying to deny this cap, but the side of Feint is just going to cap this one out. It's going to be 5-0 for the end of the game. GG's in chat. Feint taking it 2 maps to 0. A lot cleaner on process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Garda before this game, they obviously had that slight opportunity to, you know, make something going for playoffs. This was perhaps a little bit of a bridge too far for them. I don't think they'll be too upset. I mean, I think they probably feel they've had a good season. You know, they've bruised some egos. They've beaten some teams that perhaps they wouldn't have expected to. But yeah, this was just a little bit too much for them. Feint just a little bit better than they could handle.
Yeah, Feint played really cleanly on process there. Had a slip up or two on Metalworks, but able to take it home very cleanly. Looking at these logs, top frags will go to Yeehaw with 29, and then his other scout with 28. Anything you want to look at here quickly in logs, because we might be going over and rating the other match happening right now.
No, just dominate performance really from the scouts. Hugo as well, 25 frags, no mean feat on process. You know, Feint just much better. Nice performance from them, looking good going into playoffs.
Alrighty, well, it sounds like we're going to wrap things up and go over to a host. This has been ETF2L Season 38, Week 7. Feint Gaming is able to take it 2 maps to 0 against Garda Panteri. My name's Godfather. I was joined by Dave on the mic with Wiethoofd behind the scenes on production. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you over on TFTV1 in just a moment.